Following the meeting of the Eurovision Reference Group earlier this month, the EBU has announced that from 2016, the Big Five countries and host country will now, quote, appear more prominently in the semi-finals. You may be asking yourself why. Well, since the introduction of the semi-final in 2004, the host country and the Big Five have automatically qualified for the grand final, but over the past 10 years, only Germany has won the contest. In fact, at least one of the Big Five countries has always been in the bottom since 2005, and on 5 occasions, these countries have finished last. Well, Angus and Porrig, it now seems that the EBU wants to do something about it. So SVT has announced that instead of showing a short preview video of the music video, viewers will see actual footage from their rehearsals. Do you guys think this is a good idea?
I think it's a good idea to make them more prominent in the semi-finals in terms of giving it a more even playing field, because if people watch the semis and the grand final, then there'll be quite a lot of crossover, whereas the Big Five only get kind of one chance to prove themselves and the host. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of just doing exactly the same thing anyway, because it's just going to be like hearing the song. You don't actually get to vote for them, and it's not going to be the full clip. So in that sense, it's almost more of a waste of time. Like, I'd rather be of the opinion of either everyone performs in the semi-finals and then goes through to the grand final, or you just leave it as it is. Like, I don't see it making that big of a difference.
I think from the point of a viewer at home, it's not a huge difference since they're not seeing the full song. But then for the actual artist, it's probably useful because they'll get an extra rehearsal session so that it's recorded in time for the semis, and that you won't have people like the UK usually, where their artists go out and they look like they're caught in about to be run down by a car or something. Because that was the downfall, say, of Molly in 2014, and it didn't have Electro Velvet this year, even though nothing could really. But I think that's the main benefit, and then I suppose it gives the audience an idea of what to expect from the actual song, because the music videos aren't a great indication. Because if you saw 10 seconds of Electro Velvet's music video, it's quite impressive in one part where there's the big crowd dancing. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to have a great time when they come on, and obviously nobody did. But I think it's more for the artist's benefit. I
think it's really intimidating to not get a rehearsal until, you know, what is it, after the semifinals, really? Like, you need to be in there early, you need to psychologically prepare. Even if you're just there for a few minutes, I think it really helps you, like, know what to expect, because you don't want that deer in headlights moment where it's like, oh my god, this stage is so big. So yeah, it's really good for the artist and also for the technical crew, because there's a lot going on that stage, as you have seen in Vienna. Like, a lot of things can go wrong. You know, Nina Sublotti's smoke machine can be cranked up too much. Things go wrong even with rehearsal, so I think it's only fair for the Big Five to give them extra rehearsal, not just for them, but also the technical crew, because you've got stuff to work out, and maybe that will encourage them to be more ambitious with their stage shows. A devil's advocate might say you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want an automatic spot in the final, so with that comes the risk of not making it and not having as many rehearsals, etc. You know what I'm saying? Like, SVT, I feel like they just want to stamp their mark on the contest. You know, the fact they want to move it an hour earlier, the fact they want to do this. I feel like SVT, whenever they host, they're like, we've got to put our mark, we need y'all to know Sweden introduced this.
I don't know if being in the semi-final gives countries a huge advantage, because anytime the Big Five made the top 10, it's been deservingly so, and it's been with a very good song. And then half the time they nearly think that, oh, we're automatically qualified, we can send whatever we like. And then that comes in the bottom 5, and it's no surprise to anyone. Like, Lena didn't need the semis, she qualified automatically. She had such a good song, nothing could have stopped her. The same with a lot of Italy songs. And because a lot of people don't watch the semi-finals unless they're dedicated Eurovision fans, because if you look at the viewership figures at the end of it, the semi-finals are always way lower. So I don't know if it makes a huge difference at the end of the day.
The Big Five, I don't think it makes a huge advantage for them unless you have unexperienced performers, because like people like your Adene or a Volo, who like are seasoned performers, shouldn't really need any more rehearsal time because they're pros. Whereas like for amateurs, whether it's like Electro Velvet or Molly, or like Twin, you should have, like, it would benefit them. But yeah, it's more just like a cosmetic change than anything else. Like, I don't think it makes a huge substantial impact.
But also this is good if you cover Eurovision, because if the big five are going to appear in the rehearsals, that means they have to arrive earlier, because normally they come several days after everyone else, and so they're not like having the full experience, aka they're not available for interviews. And so now they'll be there early, they'll have more time to get into the vibe, because it is really exhausting. You know, you're thrown into this kind of crazy den, especially later in the week when they normally arrive. So I think it'll be good for them just on a personal level as well.